Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. Excuse me for finishing up my lunch. Um, Hans, hello. Hans, I just saw your last text and I'm afraid to say that um I didn't see it before the package went out today. So I'll have to send you one. Send you one in an envelope or something. Um I guess I was too excited to get well, I know. I was too excited to get it out for you. Um Be like $4 for me to ship it on its own. It's no big deal. If I remember it. That's the key point at this point in my life. I remember things. Um, what is going on today? You're excited for the surprise. Yeah. Wow. This is a quite a change from yesterday on YouTube. We got all sorts of action going on over here. Russell, PB, Juicy. What else we got in here? DRZ, everybody. Everybody's over there. It was awfully quiet yesterday. Hold off on sending. All right. Olive, hello. Indy. Wow. Everybody was busy on Monday, it seems. So it is officially sweater weather, I think. So I've been waiting all several months to wear this new sweater. We need to start some trouble on the Twitch side. And I thought, well, you know what? Today I will wear the new sweater. And I get into the office, and it's chilly. And then you know what? We've got a coffee. We bought a coffee maker. It's actually identical to the one we have at home. I'm gonna make some coffee. And I had it like last week, and the water is awful. This is terrible here. I hate to say it. I'm gonna just dump the whole pot. It's that bad. So I ordered a Brita so I could at least filter the water before I put it in the coffee pot. And then Lisa and I went to lunch, and then I promptly spilled root beer on my sweater. So I guess we're washing it right away. You had meetings all day afternoon yesterday, Olive. I'm probably still wearing shorts. No, I decided against shorts because it was 49 degrees when I woke up this morning. So that might be crossing the line on shorts. I did think about it, but I wore sandals without socks. So, Brian, our Estabrook Reliefs, you like the ones with the red cap band? Yeah, so the deal with the red cap band is they're supposed to all have them. Although I'm not entirely convinced that they didn't eliminate it at some point in production. But ads used to make note of the red band on the cap akin to the white dot or the blue diamond. Because it was right there and you would see it. But they're casing, they crack, they break, they dissolve, which is why sometimes you'll have caps that don't fit very well. If I tried flushing the water for a long time, the unit sat empty for long enough, there could be nasty things in the pipes. I didn't. But I think a Brita is still probably a safe bet. So we got one with the. Lisa's like, oh well, it'll be here tomorrow. It's got a red cover, just like a Cardinal. Like, okay, fine. When you want coffee, you don't want to sit there and you want coffee. Lamy has done a dud with the Harry Potter pens, like Esterick did with the Peanuts pens. One might argue that Lamy didn't do such a terrible job because the pens aren't, you know, what are they, $30? To be the regular pricing, right? I don't even know what the price in the Esterbrookes are. Because when I got sent the price list and the information, um, the link to the pricing was dead. It didn't work. They started advertising today, yeah. And so I don't remember what I think they told us at some point. I was like, yeah, I'm not getting that. That's not. You got to try, at least try. I mean, was the Snoopy pen 3 minutes of effort to figure that one out? That's the best thing they came up with. Verpine, however you pronounce that. Greetings, welcome. Yeah, I don't want bad coffee. No, I mean, I wanted something, but that wasn't it. So, yeah, yeah. The Reddit is strong with the Esterbrook. You think Lamy could have purchased a license of a different franchise? I don't care to see any money go to a certain author. Yeah. No. Now when we placed our first Lamy order, we were like, we're gonna get this. Harry Potter? No. Harry Potter? No. I'm not doing that. And you know, and there's some freedom in being able to choose what you do and don't want to carry, and it's been kind of nice. Yeah. So, you know, and you shouldn't have to have a disclaimer on your website that you don't support things that somebody says. It's not right. It's not right. Anyway. What's the beef with JK? Anti LGBTQ, all that stuff. I mean, you could just stop right there. I have no patience for that crap. If you can't be, we're all human, right? Love who you want to love. What do I care? But anyway. What do we got today? What's exciting today? Bad coffee. That's what's exciting. I got some supplies in today. So we got this 51. I got some 51 sacks. So if you've been looking for 51 sacks, now I have them. And I got some silicone sacks in today and some closure washers and packing gaskets for Schaefer plunger fillers. So as I am one step closer to lathe work, I might need those. So we got that and more stuff because I just didn't quite get to it. So we're gonna hopefully finish this guy up today. Glenn, I am. He might be one of the handful of people that never watch any of the Harry Potter franchise. Wow. Yeah. I mean, it was hard to miss. I mean, it was all there, right? I really want to finish this guy up today because this pen has been waiting for me to use it for probably longer than it took me to get this guy fixed. So, you wish better luck with your lathe than you didn't tell me what I was afraid to ask what you were doing with it. But you know, you can't be. Oh, Hans, crack me up. And I do have another client repair. It came in, and I haven't opened up the package yet. But I just noticed this. The back side of the box is pretty messed up. So let's open this up. I think I forget which pen this is. We got our letter. What do we got here? I want to say this is a dual fold. It is. It's a true blue. Yep. All right. And it does not look to be damaged. Thank goodness. That's why I tell people to put them in boxes. He was trying to turn a piece of metal that was too big for your lathe. My idea. He was all for it. All right, so we got that. I'm just going to quick read this letter. Da, 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 da. Here it is. All right. Okay, so how are things in Appleton? I'm Don Madison Way. Things in Appleton are hunky dory. I'm actually in our shop now is in Kaukauna, so but I might be coming closer to your way in the next week or so. All right, so hopefully this person is watching. If not, we'll get to this in a little bit. Let's just take a look at it real quick here. Pretty standard true blue. Pretty standard discoloration. The cap's nice, as they usually are. So, all right. Down in Madison, huh? And then if we get past all those three pens, we've got this ragtime bunch of misfits here that I don't even know if I'm going to do this one. This rubs me the wrong way, but we'll see what we're going to do. If he's trying to turn a piece of metal that's too big for your lathe, how'd you get it in the? You get to put it in the chuck, right? That metal pen, it's not really patina. It's like it's on top of the metal. It's really nasty. It's a real inexpensive pen, but it has an interesting nib, and that's the only reason I really want to pursue it, is because the nib looks like it's slightly flexible. I should note that we had that Levenger, that Schaefer Levenger. I don't know if it's a connoisseur or what it was. Yesterday, And this is a tool. This is a handy tool that y'all need to have in your toolkit, is a Palomino Blackwing, because I shoved this in the inner cap and I was able to pull it out and then clean out behind the inner cap. Not perfect, but it works. I'm always concerned about the metal here scratching the inner cap, but it worked out pretty well. You had too much mass in the chuck. It was too big for your steady rest, or it needed a live center, but there was no room. Thankfully, it was aluminum. Okay. Well, I am happy to report that I haven't replaced both of them, but the new bands that I got, the one does fit properly for the one that was old and broken and sad. I probably should just replace the other one too. But the one I replaced apparently is the one that I don't necessarily need. So we'll see. I'm gonna probably, I haven't contacted. I've got a friend who's probably quite skilled in, or at least has some experience in. Since next Friday is Pelican Hub, I think I'm just gonna wait to talk to him, and then I was gonna shoot him an email, but if there's anybody local that's good with or used lathes before, that doesn't mind a little instruction, I'm would be happy to have you here. All right, just gonna clean up some threads. I guess we're just gonna get to the sacking point on this thing. We're not really gonna be able to do much till tomorrow. Well, I tell you, I don't know where the heck the day goes. I was completely exhausted yesterday after coming home and skipped riding. Right, Monday used to be my day off from riding, and I decided since I'm home late, super late on Tuesdays, that Tuesday would be my new day off. And I got home yesterday and I was like, like 8 o'clock and we're watching TV and I was falling asleep. Like, yeah, we are done. Yeah, this must have cleaned out a little bit. When I first got it, it was milky white. In fact, you couldn't even see the striations in the sack. It must have cleaned out a little bit, or I don't know. This will be better. We'll let that dry. We can assemble and test tomorrow. All right, let's jump into this guy. Okay. Oh, the pan maker used went to turn on one of his lathes and nothing happened. That's a bad sign. You probably got a bigger lathe than I do. Speaking of lathes, you bought a great machinist's cart this morning. It will fit your lathe and 2 or 3 other tools. A cart, as in like an actual metal cart that has wheels on it, or I'm not sure I know exactly what that is. I need to make room. I wish my brother had still been here to help you move it. Metal carpet drawers and a heavy wood top. Oh, okay. All right. I forgot to change my water out today. Oh well. So if you read the description of today's stream on YouTube, I did mention pencils. And I'm kind of running at the end of the last two collections that I bought. So after that, all we got left are Esterbrook's. Oh, that's not true. I've got some user grade, some other user grade pens. Nothing discolored dual folds. You love pencils. You hate fixing them. Yeah, I wish. If there was, if somebody knowledgeable enough about pencils gave a seminar, uh, I'd be like the first person to sign up. Believe it or not. because Hans, as you know, a dreadful side effect of buying collections is you end up with pencils. And my philosophy is they either, yeah, you'd be the second one. Wouldn't that be fun? Can we get Jonathan Valley or somebody to put something together, and we go to his house and fix pencils? I mean, between you and me, we probably have 500 pencils. But yeah, we need, a few people can fix them. They absolutely won't take in work. Can we find somebody that could teach us? Because I am sure I've got countless pencils that we could use to, as test subjects. John may be up for it. I should ask him when I see him in a couple of weeks. When I see him in Ohio, I may ask. He's not too far. Yeah, it might be fun to see his museum. Over on YouTube, Lyndon, you have a question. What's the pointy tool? A dental pick? This one right here? This is kind of a weird. I don't know if it would be a dental pick or not. It's my favorite tool, and I was actually talking to Lisa about it the other day. If this is the one you're talking about. It has two ends, and my apologies for the. See if I can get it. This end is round. There we go. This end is round. And this end's got a little point to it. But I like this round end because it's just so much, it's a little bit more forgiving. But we were talking about it like Sunday, I think. And I said, man, I really need to start looking for a replacement, because if this breaks, I use this. I mean, what I do is you can't see, I've got off the side of my mat here, I've got like all the tools that I regularly use. Yeah, toothbrush. I've got my extremely dull X-Acto knife. So if you see me using this, this is not a sharp blade at all. It is extremely dull. I've got my Boy Scout pocket knife that I've had since I was 10, maybe. I mean, I don't know how old I was when I got this. Lost it several times. But it stays on my desk. And then I've got, a blade. I usually have a, Q-tip or something, some toothpicks, and what do I got? I got a buff stick, an emery board. These are the tools that I use a lot. Do I have any sharpening stones? Yeah, I do have a sharpening stone. Yeah. I do dental work out of the back room in the spare time. Yeah. Yeah, dental tools are handy, yeah. I have other ones too that I use from time to time. The problem is real dental picks. Let me grab my stash here. Sometimes they have too great of an angle to them, and so they're actually quite useless for pen repair. These are some of the other ones that I have. Well, that's not a dental pick. I don't, like this one's great, except this angle is too big to fit in a barrel from here to end of here. This one's got a weird little knife on the end, but it also has another one of those rounded tips like this one. And the rest of them are all some kind of, I use this one occasionally. Kind of flat on the end. This one's great, except again, this variance from here to here is too wide to fit in most barrels. Saw that you posted new ink samples on your website today. Have not gone any further looking at them yet. Yeah, new we decided this time around, since we're doing everything different, we're doing 4 mils. And that idea kind of originated here on Twitch. And we were talking about it one day, probably back in January or February or something. And I said, you know what? If people want 4 mil, let's give them 4 mil. Because in the end, it actually makes it quicker for me to sample up a bottle of samples of ink. Because I do less. I mean, so it goes really pretty quick. Tiny crochet hooks. Yeah, I got 1 or 2 of those around here somewhere too. I'm almost certainly a better dentist than one I visited when you were young. I don't think so. You have a pocket knife when you were growing up? I have to remember to leave it at home if I need to go to the federal building here in Augusta. Yeah. Yeah, this one I've lost at least twice. I remember the first time I lost it, I found it. I bought it at Boy Scout camp. It was $6.50, if I recall correctly. $6 or $6.50. I think it was $6.50. It was most of the money I had with me for that week, and I spent it on this knife. And this blade is pretty dull, but that's okay. I use it exclusively for scraping off sections, and I never close it. I mean, it still works. And then there are 2 other blades. It's fairly dull at this point. This one's probably a little bit sharper than the rest. I don't really use the other blades, but a number of years ago, I was buying a mobile. I've told this story before, but for those who haven't heard it, Lisa and I decided I was gonna take repair tools, because for a while when we did shows, I took a little mobile repair kit. We brought the ultrasonic, and then we would buy pens on Friday night while Lisa was making dinner in the hotel room, which sometimes was like ramen in the coffee pot. I would get the pens that we bought, and I would sort them out, and I would say, okay, well, I'd start fixing them. And so we decided we needed a better system than just throwing all these tools in a bag. And we bought a case at like Lowe's or Home Depot or something. It was a nice aluminum case, but we decided it wasn't going to work for one reason or another, or we found one cheaper somewhere else, and we returned it. But we had brought it home, and we had said, okay, well, we're looking at it like, okay, what are we gonna do? We can put the knife here, we can put the the picks here, we can put the the shellac here. And when I took it back, I forgot to take my knife out of the pocket, one of the pockets, and we returned it. Got our money back, and I don't remember if it was later that day or the next day. We were like, I couldn't find my knife, and I was beyond myself. And we went back, and my memory's foggy. I don't remember if they still had it set aside, or we ended up going and they had put it back on the shelf, and we went to the shelf and we found it and it was in there. So it doesn't leave me anymore. You let the gang on Inkdependence last Friday know that we're carrying ink samples. Oh, thank you. I was on his stream a little bit today, and it was kind of funny because he asked a question, and he called me Anderson Pens, which I thought was kind of funny. But I mean, that's how Mike's known me for a long time. All right, let's see if this will come open. You have a reasonably large size fishing tackle box made out of plastic they use for your pen accessories, etc. Yeah. You know what? It's a little bit olive. It's not too bad, but I want to soak this inside. So if it gets a little bit olive, then we'll just blacken it. Yeah, you know, it's funny, talking about Jonathan Velli, I was actually, um, I had someone ask me today about some pencils, and I said, well, you know, sometimes I sell them on the website as unrestored, and so, well, maybe Jonathan can help you out. I don't know, but I don't know that he does repairs for other people other than himself. Um, but it took me forever to find his contact information on a contact page. You have your tools in two Gerstner toolboxes that coincidentally originally had dental tools back in the 40s and 50s. That's the best. Who else out there is a really educated pencil person? Who else could we ask? I like I like Jonathan Velli just from the sole aspect of the close proximity he is. And really, I think we could probably do it. And yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, it'd be like what? Just a single day, probably. I don't want anybody to get any funny ideas about me and pencils, but the number of pencils we get, I just want them to work. That's all I want. Yeah, I don't think we get, I mean, you know, unless you and I, Hans, want to go international, I think that's, like, I bet you could do what you needed to do, like in one, at most, an 8-hour session. I mean, what could you learn in 8 hours? Enough to fix 80% of what you find. right? I mean, I'll toss that, and they're tossing everything in the ultrasonic except for the button and the blind cap. Yeah, yeah. One day would fix almost everything, and that's really what you want, I think. You know, I mean, I'd be willing to pay for that. You know, and if it was in line with what Richard Binder used to charge for his 3-day seminar, it would be real affordable. Learn to know which ones are hopeless. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate pencils. I mean, if I have the possibility of adding one as a companion to a pen, sometimes it's really nice. You know, it just looks nicer, you know, and I'll talk to John in Ohio. Yeah. Yeah. That wouldn't be too, well, it wouldn't be too bad of a drive for you, I don't think. It'd be 8 hours, 6 hours for me, 7 hours for me. All right, so Carissa, if you're watching, that's all that's left of your pen. Sorry to hear about it. Just kidding, just kidding. Eight-hour drive? That's not bad. Driving the night before? I mean, if it were a couple of us, I mean, we just, you know, what would it take? What would it take to make it happen? I mean, surely he's got to get something for his time. Your dad used to sell Electrolux, and they had a guy that did repairs. You learned how to strip the vacuums down and clean them and put them back together, and it cost a whole lot less. Yeah, you had a few specific tools. Yeah, yeah. I am sure. I was watching something on Facebook just the other day, some reel about somebody who buys. He goes and he buys Dyson vacuum cleaners, and then he strips them out and he sells them. He parts them out. I thought, wow, that's smart. Just a little bit of sack in there, but when it's wet, you can't tell if it's stuck or if it's just. This is the best part about a dual fold, just taking the cap apart like this. Shouldn't be enough. All right, this is going to do two things. It's going to clean out that inner cap, and it's going to blacken it up a little bit. The blind cap is really nice and black, so doesn't really need much work to it. That looks good. Just clean this up. There's a little bit of what's on here. Quite a bit of brassing, but not a ton you can do about that. Well, we got this apart. Let's just super easy to polish this while it's disassembled. We're getting a little bit of brown coming off. You can see the kind of that halo around the edge of the inner cap. All right. There is a little bit of a dimple on the nib. But I don't think right here, I don't think it's worth knowing how difficult these nibs are to disassemble and reassemble. I don't think it's worth um, messing with. Will Dr. G's be making its return soon? Yeah, I sure hope so. Right now I'm saving money up for the Chicago, the Ohio Pen Show, and then hopefully I'd like to see it by the end of the year, if not sooner. So, but yes, it is on. I literally have a little. It's on a little pilot notepad, which we always used to joke about because it's the notepad that comes with the Vanishing Point tester set, and it's the worst paper ever. It's it's the worst paper for fountain pens you could imagine. Um, and so I have on that list a short list of all the brands that are next in line, and Dr. G's is on that list. So there's only like 4 brands on that list right now. Yeah, it's unbelievable how terrible it is. It works great for ballpoints though. The meanest, cheapest dollar store pads are better. The meanest, they're mean, huh? So Lisa got this new she got a couple Bluetooth printers, little small jobbies, and they print label printers. And she's just so excited. She's been so excited about them. She just loves to make labels for things, and so I had her make me labels for one of my repair things over here because I could never remember which sacks I had in which drawers, and so now I was able to get up and know which drawer had the 15s in it before I opened up 4 other ones. She's so funny. Every time I say, well, I could use you to make me some labels. She goes, oh, you do love me. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, Dr. G's needs. This is how soon we're gonna get Dr. G's. That's all that's left in my bottle. That much. Really, what I need to do is have a really good week, and then I can afford to order it. But I'm saving my money for the show. So the wired label printer you have is a pain. I'll have to look into a Bluetooth one. Yeah, ask Lisa. She's got a couple of them. Actually, there's one within. Hang on, I'll show you what she. I don't know anything about him, and I'm claiming complete ignorance because I don't want another job. But this is one of them. This is for little tiny labels. And then she's got. I don't know. She's got like 2 or 3 of them. She's got another one for bigger labels that are about yay big by 1.5 inches tall. And then we have a third one that will accept bigger labels. That was our saving grace when our receipt printer died. And then Lisa's like, "Oh, well, I've got one in the closet. Will that work?" So, but yeah, she's got at least 3. I think she uses that pink one for ink sample labels, and then she's got a white one that has bigger labels that I use for that I've been using for my parts bins and things like that. And from what I recall, they're not very expensive. You found it on Amazon, yeah. Ask her about the other one. You might want the other one though because it'll print these. It'll print this size. So for your standard, which is a kind of a nice size. You would probably make her day if you texted her and asked her. So I come up with ideas, different things that she needs to label for me, and she just happy as a clam. I told her I needed to have my parts buckets. I'm really tired of trying to look at my parts buckets and try to figure out what's what. Eventually sometime, I won't say this year, but eventually by end of next year, I want to be completely organized. Or just better. I just constant improvement. Okay, so there was a little ink in there, but the brown stuff you see that's swirling here, that's all oxidation from this rubber. Yeah, so Lisa uses she uses her iPhone to connect to it, and then if you're just making generic labels for, you know, for stuff. It's does it on her phone. I don't know if she's got a template saved or something. I don't know, but if I need a label, she has a label made in like seconds. It's really pretty impressive. Don't really need it on that, and it just bad shot. Hey Jason, how are you? Welcome. Let that sit for a while. What's next? Oh, my pen is next. This is a Parker True Blue. Parker Lucky Curve True Blue. Pretty material. It's just really a pity that should be a good writer. Back before cell phones and easy printing, my parents, they needed labels made. They had to do the design, then take it to a printer that would print them on backing so you could peel off the paper. Wow. I remember those little things where you would punch the things and then they would, like the red and the black, and they would punch them in reverse so that they would show up white because they were pressing against that really, really hard. What were those things called? They would buy products in 55-gallon drums and repack them in small. Oh, wow. Was it the Dymo? You know, they were often like red, and like if you didn't get the backing off quite right, it just jammed under your fingernail, and you know, and you'd start to bleed. There, that's better. That's a little bit closer to the, and it'll darken up too a little bit over time. So were they Dymo? Okay. So these are our options. This, or I think this is the better option here. Like it's a nicer grouping there. So I don't probably don't need that. That's a much better look. What do we use on ink vials? We use actually. I think we use that little pink one that I just showed you. Um, Unfortunately, the adhesive doesn't stick as nicely as we thought it would, because in the past we used to use labels that we ran through the laser printer, but then we would tape it, and the label didn't print so great on the laser, and it looked awful. Well, so these look better, but what we discovered was the adhesive doesn't stick to the plastic vial very well. And we would come in the next morning, and then almost the entire label was like it started peeling away, so that we had to tape it off. So the label still looks better. It's still easier to print. It's much faster to print. So it's still a win. And I was just hoping not to have to tape them down, because that's an extra step. That's Yeah, that looks real nice there. All right, so we will let that dry. So tomorrow we'll have two pens that we'll be able to finish up. The 51, this one, that'll be great. Get those out of here. Yeah, you squeeze the heck out of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's that's it. Well, I hope this is a good nib. The only thing that sucked is that you end up having a lot of blank tape before and after what you printed. Yeah, I mean we had those with the digital ones too, right? I mean you'd print it, and then you'd press the button, or you push down on the thing, and it would the cutter, and it would cut it, and it was always too much. Will I be in Ohio? Yes, I actually, Lisa actually booked my hotel room yesterday, Sunday. So I am going to be there. Pretty limited. Um, Time frame. I'm not going to be there all weekend. I plan to be there about noon, 1 o'clock on Thursday. And I'll be there all day Thursday, Friday, and I'll probably leave Saturday around noon. So if anybody is there, probably have if you see me on Thursday or Friday, my head will be down. I'll be looking at tables. I'll be looking at pens. Saturday, I probably won't be doing any shopping at all, but you'd love to go, but timing is bad. That's too bad. I'd love to see what I can fill your car up with this time. All right, that should do it for that. That'll work. I think this is like an extra fine nib. This is a car full of wonderful things for me. Yeah. I don't really know what's left. This is going to be an awful nib. I just know it. I just know it. I almost don't care though. If it's a nice fine, it will be. If I can get it to a nice wet fine, it will be okay. Maybe 1,300 silver palladium nibs to start the party and another 327 boxes of pen magazines. No, I got another idea, actually. I have another idea. Uh, 4 boxes. One, two. I'm looking at them here. I'm sorry, four. Is it five? 5 boxes of Mont Blanc displays. All right, what size are we going to put in this baby? 17? Oh. Do we not even address the barrel here? We just kind of... Oh, it's dry now. That's right. 'Cause it was wet. You're afraid. Well, that is the next big thing that needs to go, buddy. So if they're still around when Chicago comes around, we'll talk. I trip over them every day. All right, there was just a little bit of stuff in there, not much. So if you drove to visit me and foolishly left your car unlocked, they would somehow find their way into your trunk. Yes. I would be happy to trade them. And what I would take for them is getting less by the day. You know, I never asked Hans. Did you ever get that Schaefer display that I found for you in St. Louis? How about the largest box you've ever seen full of marble bases for desk sets? Oh man. I really like being married this time around. I like this wife. It's sitting in pieces in your basement. Needs a lot of help. Okay. I forgot to ask. Well, as they say, the price was right. Had it been the brine of old, I would have scarfed it up for myself. It will look neat for the house. Yeah. And I would have had it for the next 20 years, like a certain set of Schaefer lamps. Hey, at least you got them working and you got one outside the pen room. You got to admit, you never seen anything like that. And they've got really interesting provenance, too. All right. You know what? I'm going to polish this up real quick. This has been sitting around for a long time. It's still called Brian's lamp in your Alexa. Nice. May it bring you many years of happiness. Because all it did was sit in my basement. Best intentions and all that. Your brother loved it too? Great. You know, if you didn't fix it up the second you got it, you'd have the same problem I did. Yeah. You have a home for the second lamp, but he's overseas. He wants it for his pen room. Yeah. Okay. He's got to call it Brian's lamp, though, when he hooks it up. I just have this bad habit of taking on too many projects and never finishing a single one, or taking 3 years for this is maybe 5 years in the making on this pen. Seriously, maybe longer. I've wanted an ebonized pearl for a long time, and then when I found one I could afford, it didn't have a nib or a feed on it. So it was reasonably clean. So I figure. I was sure cleaned up nice. All right. Well, I may replace that nib down the road. It's not perfect, um, but a wet find would be very welcome. So, all right. Don't really need this. If I don't like the nib that comes with the helmet, okay, thank you. I'm really not that picky because it's like uh, this pen's been on my desk now for, is it close to a week? I'm shocked I'm still using it because I just don't. I really don't use as many pens as people probably think I do. All right, let's take a look at this motley crew. All right, let's get a diaphragm. Let's at least do that one first. That one looks like it's... Although if I polished up this parquet, it probably wouldn't look so dang bad. T.U. Lee, how are you? Good sleepy afternoon. We're doing all right today. We got a 51 aerometric we put back together, or at least we got a sack for. That was a step in the right direction. Lucky Curve True Blue disassembled, got it ready tomorrow to be ready to test. My personal pen, the Ebonized Pearl, we got that all taken care of. And now we're on to cleaning these guys up. And then after this, we have pencils. Which I am mildly excited about. Only because I can get them out. Or mechanical pencils. Yes, yes, you heard it here. Mechanical pencils. Ooh, that's the nicest pellet socket I've seen in a long time. It just slotted right in. Now I've got these trays of pencils that came with this collection that I bought. Boy, that's nice. That is nice. And they either need to go in the to be photographed, get ready to sell pile, or they need to go in the they don't work and I'm going to throw them in the parts bin pile. And I was hoping that my original plan was we're so backed up. We've got 7 and 9 lead sizes are small. No, 9 and 1.1. Most of them. Or if we're speaking in vernacular, 0.036 and 0.046. But my original plan was, we had a huge rush of people wanting to consign pens and stuff, and so we took care of that. Oh, can't do this yet. And but it was a lot of photography, and then some new brands and some other photography there, and ink samples and And so we just weren't getting around to the vintage stuff. And I thought we were seeing an end to it. So I said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to shoot 5 or 6 pens a week, because shooting 50 pens doesn't really, it doesn't work. It's too many. They're just going to get lost. They're not going to get done. And then I got notice from an old client not too long ago that wanted to consign some of his pens. So I got more consignment pens that are coming. Yeah, this is too thin for this, unfortunately, for the Demi. Yeah, so I've got on my shelf, I've got 1, 2, 3, I think they're 40 pen cases. Those are full. I have 2 48 pen cases, and those are mostly full. Um, in fact, I'm a little worried that I'm going to have to figure out something else for storage until we get around to it. But the latest consignment grouping looks like it's going to be about 50 pens. All modern. So I don't think our 5 to 6 pens a week thing is going to work for a while. Problem is, I've completely forgot about some of these really great pens that we have. That I bought back in May and before. I just never stopped repairing pens. I just kept going. Energizer Bunny, yep. You need to run. Okay. I'll look back, see the pencils later. Yeah. Have a great night. Yeah, you bet. I think we are pretty close. All right. That barrel's got some ambering to it, but have I encountered a pen gunked up with shimmer ink yet? No. Thank goodness. Not a vintage one, anyway. Since that's primarily what I work on, I let's just say the client would receive a strongly suggested letter indicating what they should and shouldn't put in their pen. I've seen a number of pens that have had Japanese inks in them this year, though. You know, put shimmer in vintage or expensive pens. Yeah, I mean, you know, you put it in something cheap that you can. Hmm. Not quite. You'll start soaking a special snorkel in shimmer ink. That's a treat for you. I've had the misfortune of cleaning out 4 decent vintage pens from the same person who has clogged them with shimmer ink, charged $75 a pen to clean them, and I undervalued my time. Wow. 50-year-old who should have known better. Yeah. So it's just not seating quite right. What is the issue with the residue of Japanese inks? Well, the ink dissolved the nib. Oh, Phillies, yeah. So gold plated probably. Just took the plating right off. All right. It didn't like to go in, but it went in. Where'd my nib go? Oh, 4 o'clock already. Holy cow. Do plan to attend any pen shows in 2026? Are you talking to me or Hans? Me, my schedule for the year is divided in 2 parts. The for certains are Chicago, Everyone. Okay. Yeah. For me, Chicago and Ohio are must attends. I am going to try really hard. Those are for certain. Baltimore is in the second group. Like pretty certain I will be in Baltimore. Um, and St. Louis is also a strong possibility again. Just kind of depends on how everything works out. And then I have a short list of other shows that I would like to get to, but I realistically don't know if that will happen. And that would be DC's always on that list. I never seem to be able to get to go. Um, it just doesn't work out. It's just way too expensive to go. I need a sponsor is what I need, right? Um, and Dallas. I'd love to go to Dallas, and we've talked about that one. So that's a possibility. Whether or not that happens in 2026, I don't know. If I had my druthers, I'd love to go to Raleigh. But the fact of the matter is, it's some of these shows are just they're too far to. I would be going by myself. At least has got a job now, so and she pretty much won't be attending any show with me probably next year at all. Um, so for me to drive to any of these shows is I'm not the spry. Contrary to public opinion, I am not the spry young man I used to be, and I don't really care to any trip over 8 hours. No, I mean it's too long. It's quite frankly, it's a long drive, right? So and then that means a hotel somewhere along the way. Just adds to your cost and the timetable. So we have to be a little strategic about it. We can drive to Chicago, Ohio, and St. Louis quite easily. The rest of it, I'm at the whim of my local airport or. Yeah, it's a young man's game, isn't it? Amen. I mean, if there were two of us, it would be a different story. It's not like it used to be. Lisa could come with, and even when she was still teaching, she was teaching remotely, so it was no big deal. Two of us can drive, trade off, whatever, you know. I gotta polish this one because it's just so ugly. I just don't. And now I just dropped it on the floor, so. Oh, there. I did debate whether or not I could look at getting a table in Ohio and try to sell off some of these pens that I haven't gotten around to photographing yet, so I could just bypass that process. But I'm sure they don't have a table, and I don't plan to be there Sunday at all. Just got a very weird text. I don't know who that is. But it sounds like somebody who might text me. Did somebody just text me? Somebody messing with me? I get a message that says, "Come to my house to eat spare ribs." Who's that? All right, what do we got here? That's pretty big in there. Yeah, I'm texting. Yeah, probably. Too old, cold, and sleepy. Yeah. I could actually fit something a little bigger in there. Maybe this is pretty small. I bet you an 18. Let's see what an 18 looks like. Still got room for a little insulation. Probably going to go over the section nipple a whole lot easier. Let's try that. Maybe I should ask this person if they can Venmo me some money so I can get an Uber to come over to eat spare ribs and see what they say. Just need $5. All right. Well, I have some fun pens to test out, try out tomorrow. All right, that guy is one step closer. I'm gonna look at this nib and make sure that this is. Oh, this nib looks good. It's such a terrible. Someone needs to invent like a plastic scraper or something. What was your experience with converters during your shop time? In what context? Con 40 is terrible. I always had a unique method for selling the Kaweco sport converter. I would tell people how terrible it is. Tell them how they just need to refill the pen with a syringe, and then and then they would buy it. Servicing with newer models, the materials, converters. I mean, Schmidt makes one of the best converters out there, I think. The K5. I mean, there's a reason almost everybody uses it, or a derivation thereof. You were thinking Estes? You don't care for, yeah, Kaweco is. I kind of have a love hate relationship with them. Um, Esterbrook, I am certain uses a Schmidt K5. Or at least they used to. Which is, they fill well. They're easy to disassemble and clean if you need to. You're attracted to that niblet. There's something you're interested in, just you can shoot me an email. I'm happy to look into it for you. While I don't have them on the website, I certainly can order them. And the reason I don't have them yet is quite simple. Um, you can't, it's really hard to sell pens if you don't have a real good representation. You can't just buy one or two. And there's so many Esterbrook Estes. Um, and you got to have all the nibs, and it's a huge investment. But if you're interested in a niblet, I can be happy to look one up for you. So I didn't really want to have to do this and scrape that off, but it's looking better already. And like I say, this is not a sharp X-Acto at all. It's incredibly dull, so it's really good for this kind of work. I might not get to those pencils today. Or I give up on this nonsense and what's for dinner? It's Tuesday. Tuesday's leftover night. And we've got some minestrone soup in the fridge. And I am going to ride tonight. I have to ride. I'm, I believe it or not, for you cycling fans out there, I think it was Sunday, Sunday or last week, Friday. I've just finished watching the Vuelta a España. Um, and then, of course, Saturday was the Il Lombardia, and I haven't finished watching that because I watch it from start to finish. So it's it's 5 hours, 5.5. So I've got I've got that to finish up. Yeah, it's a great time for soup. What I really would like to watch is the any of you cycling fans out there hear about the Pogie Challenge that went down on, I think it was on Sunday, and it was put on by Tadej Pogačar in Slovenia, and were there 1178 people in attendance. It was a 24, I think it was a 24-kilometer race. Essentially, it's a hill climb. And for 21 or something like that, 9.5 kilometers are a 7.6% gradient. And Tadej Pogačar gave a 6-minute head start to 1,178 riders. And this is everybody from, I mean, I don't know what you needed to do to sign up for it. I mean, maybe you just needed to sign up. I mean, you can't tell me 1,178 people qualified. You know, if you were in Slovenia and you had a bike, you're qualified. And 6-minute head start. And with the help of Doma Novak, his teammate, he passed 1,177 people and did not beat Andrew Feather, which if you watch GCN, is like the local GCN. He's the British hill climbing champion, and he's not a professional cyclist. Now Pogačar got up the climb faster than Feather, but, and yes, that's his real name, is Andrew Feather. Pogačar got up to climb 4 minutes faster, but he still didn't beat him because he had that 6-minute head start. Yeah, I totally would have done that. I'd totally been like in the bottom 5% or something. That only means at some point he would have passed me. And if you're not a cycling fan, look up Tadej Pogačar. He is the most. They need someone to fill in Cavendish's vacancy. Yeah, yeah. I'm warming up to. I really hate to admit this. I hate to admit this, because I didn't like him for a long time, but I'm warming up to Jasper Philipsen. There's just nobody that's got the watts in the final 200 meters than Philipsen. But I don't think anybody's going to be, nobody. I mean, the only person that's going to beat Cavendish's record of Tour de France wins is Pogačar. Heel toe. Yeah, heel toe. Absolutely. That's all that goes through your mind. In fact, you'd say it out loud. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. And that's not even a steep climb by most of European standards, but apparently it's one of the steepest climbs in Slovenia. And it's I mean, Pogačar did it in 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Which means, mere mortals like us, that's an hour, easily an hour climb. But if you don't know who Pogačar is, look him up. is quite possibly, this is a wonderful time to be a cycling spectator. Um, it's hard to compare the 60s to now, but he could be the greatest cyclist ever. Most assuredly is the most dominant cyclist in the last 40 years. 20 wins this season. And when he didn't win, he pretty much podiumed almost everything. Yeah, I mean, he's compared to Merckx, Eddie Merckx, almost every time, you hear his name. But the problem is Merckx won everything. Merckx has got 500 and some professional victories. Pogacar's 100 and what is it, 127 now, 128, something like that. And Pogacar just does not, he does not, he doesn't win time trials. He won a couple in the Tour a few years back. It's just not his, I mean, he's better than 98% of the rest, but there's always, Remco's the best. Remco beats him every time. And quite honestly, thank goodness there's something he's not good at, because then it gives somebody else a chance to win. But he's a fascinating kid. I fear he's going to burn out and retire early. But fun to watch, really fun to watch, because it's a guessing game. It's not a if he's going to attack, it's when. So that's Brian's cycling corner for the October 14th. I've completely lost half of the people watching. Oh, we're getting there. It's still nasty. I can't do it anymore. Um, you agree on the retirement? I think family may prioritize the time. Yeah, I don't know though. You can clearly see he's got a list. You can tell he's got a list, and he didn't win Paris Roubaix this year, and I think that kind of was the first year he attempted it, and Van der Poel just made it look easy. And so I think he wants Paris Roubaix. I think he would be foolish before if he retired without winning the the Vuelta a España, get the Triple Crown. Um, maybe a couple other monuments that he hasn't. Has he gotten them all? I can't even keep track. Il Lombardia 5 times in a row. If he wins next year, it'll be the most wins at Il Lombardia in history. Um, you were talking to your doc about cycling an hour before arriving in the chat. Nice. Um, so yeah, I know he wins Il Lombardia. I'm only 100K into the race and there's 140K left to go. So I mean, I got a couple days more of riding before I find out what goes down. I mean, I kind of know what goes down, but all right, we're gonna come back to those tomorrow. We'll be able to test those two. The Ebonized Pearl, the True Blue, the 51. I'm going to at least pull some pencils out and let's see what happens here. All right. And really, they just need to work. This is kind of its own separate tray, so I should do this one first. But yeah, I mean, the sad thing is we're at the end of the season, right? So, you know, there's not much to watch. All right, so this guy has got something going on. It sort of works. This spring is bent. Yeah, if you've got HBO Max, they carry a lot of the weird European races. Um, so I might do that. All right, so this one sort of works. This is that. This one is the one you definitely cannot take on a plane because it's a knife. Does it go one further? No, that's it. Goes. It has two stops here and. Oh no, it does go all the way up. 3 stop points. So that one is good. Oh, that's nice. Let's do that one. This is a ready point, but it does sort of work. All right, so there's your chamber, apparently. And then this, screw down. I guess it sort of works. That's going to be one of those for the right price pencils, I think is what that is. Okay, so these need. That might work. Right now, I'm looking for ones that have lead in them that work. Okay, so those, what I should do is I should set aside the ones that I think are functional that just need lead. Well, who doesn't like a little wall bantam? This one requires some kind of extra large lead that I can't believe I have. I mean, look at the opening on this compared to your standard. That's sterling. What do we got here? That doesn't work. That's kind of a cool pattern. Nope. That doesn't work. How about a ready point? Surely this one works. That sort of works. This little cutie. Oh, see, that works like a charm. No idea what brand it is. Got kind of a broken little piece on it. These two do work, but Nope. That works. Maple Wood. This was Maple Wood's pencil. And this one does turn, but it doesn't. And even if you push it, it doesn't retract. Something wrong with that. I'm not going to mess with that. A green one with some pencil marks or bite marks. See, this is the stuff that frustrates me. Like, it needs to work or not. There we go. That one works. Now this one's got the big gap in there. So it's got some shrinkage on it, or this part has. Well, the mechanism works. I wonder if this can be. Is it possible it shrunk that much, or did this just come out? I mean, that's really a with a name engraved on it is going to be a tough sell. The mechanism does work. This is one of those square. Is it a Wall Eversharp lead? Something's working, but it's not working right. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. That's how I want it to work. Now this one's got that clip. Does work. A little bit of ding in the crown there. It's seen better days, but maybe it will clean up. There we go. That other piece of lead was just too short. Oh yeah, maybe Todd Fine Point. Very nice. There we go. That's good. All right, so those are the better pencils. These are the not as good pencils on this side. Although this one is huge. Auto point. Doesn't retract though. Well, these are the better pencils. So and these do work, but they need lead. Or the mechanism. I can at least see the mechanism. Oh, well, that one had a lead in it. I guess I should inspect these. Mm. I don't think this one coming open. I think that one's just going to sit in there for a while. All right, well, so we got, what do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17 pencils out of the bunch. That will, yeah, inspected and sorted is a good start. Yeah. Well, as good as it's going to get for now. But at least I know what I you know, I can polish these and make sure that they've got lead in them. I think that will be, you know, and none of them are. I mean, this one is pretty nice. And if a guy was going to keep a pencil, that's a really nice pencil. Look how beautiful that is. Nice and big and fat. I like the black one too, but the black one's really seen better days. Got a couple little dings here. I mean, you know. For the right price, you know, and the beauty of these from a different perspective, you most people don't think of is for me, these are one shot, what I call one shot pens. They only need one photograph, and so they're considerably easier to shoot than a cheap fountain pen. Fountain pens always require a minimum of two images, so you know you can't really sell a $35 or $40 fountain pen, vintage one. It almost doesn't work. It's hard to justify the cost because it cost me almost, it doesn't cost me that, but it cost me a lot to shoot 2 pictures and have them edited, and my time to put up a listing for a $30 pen. But I can do a $30 pencil and it's not as bad. And usually what happens is if it's a $30 pencil, you'll find a pencil person will buy 2 or 3 pencils at the same time. So it kind of works out. And then, you know, that you're playing the odds, right? Whether it may or may not work out that way. I could have 18 people buy one each of all of these pencils, and then there it is. I mean, now this one with the knife, that's a multi image shot, but it's also $100 pencil. Easy. You know, some of these are more expensive than others. Maybe they'll clean up nice, but who knows? So anyway, at least I got through it. I wasn't going to do it, but you know what? I need to do it. I need to polish them up. I need to get moving on some of these. Some of these other pencils are just kind of. This one's got a Chevrolet logo on it. Maybe somebody would be interested in that, but it's. I mean, it's not. It's a $5 item. You know, this is the stuff that you got to have in a. You put it in a box at a pen show, and it's the the junk box, and go sort through it, and they're $5 a piece, as is where is cheese whiz. So until that day comes, that I have a table, and it's one table, not 6, not 5, but one. They're gonna probably sit in a bin somewhere. Anyway, well, it's after 5, so I've got a little bit of time here to get caught up on a couple things around the shop. I'll get some stuff ready for tomorrow. Answer some emails and all that good jazz. So thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good rest of your evening, a good afternoon, a good morning, wherever you are in the world. Thanks to you, Lee. Yeah, have a good evening too. Be kind, be well, and we'll catch you tomorrow. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye now.